She gave my first-class seat to her brother and told me to be a man. So I canceled her entire life while she was in the air. You're staying here? Lucas needs this more than you do. That was it. 5 years of a relationship, 11 months of saving, and $15,000 in non-refundable bookings, gone in a single, dismissive breath. Anna didn't even look up from her packing. She just continued folding her silk blouses, the ones I paid for, sliding them neatly into the expensive hard-shell suitcase, which I also paid for, as if she hadn't just detonated a nuclear bomb in the middle of our living room. I stood in the doorway, my phone in my hand, the airline app open. The screen glowed with the notification that had stopped my heart cold 10 minutes ago. Itinerary modified. Passenger removed, Brad. Passenger added, Lucas. You gave my ticket to your brother, I said. My voice didn't shake. It was terrifyingly calm, a flat line. My seat. On the flight I paid for the anniversary trip we planned for a year. She finally looked at me, and the look in her eyes wasn't guilt. It was annoyance. Pure, unadulterated irritation that I was making this difficult for her. Brad, stop being dramatic, she sighed, flipping her hair over her shoulder. Lucas is going through a crisis. Sarah left him, he's depressed, and he's been sleeping on Mom's couch for 3 weeks. He needs a win. He needs to get away. You're fine. You're always fine. You're strong. You don't need a week in Tokyo to survive. You can just work. Make up the hours. I blinked, the logic refusing to seat itself in my brain. You transferred my ticket without asking me to a guy who stole your dad's golf clubs to pay a gambling debt last year? That was in the past, she snapped, zipping the bag shut with a sharp hiss. He's family, Brad. Family comes first. Always. I thought after 5 years you'd understand that. Mom agreed with me, by the way. She said it was a noble thing for us to do. Us. So I'm paying for your brother to fly business class to Japan and stay in a 5-star hotel with you while I stay here? Technically, yes, she said, standing up and smoothing her dress. But don't look at it like that. Look at it as investing in his mental health. You're sitting this trip out because you're the only one strong enough to handle it. Be a man about it, okay? Stop pouting. It's unsexy. She walked past me, patting my cheek condescendingly. I have to get to the airport by 5 in the morning. Can you drive us? Lucas's car is in the shop again. I stood there for a long time after she went into the bathroom to shower. I looked at the walls of the apartment we leased together. I looked at the 60-inch OLED TV I bought with my bonus last year. I looked at the custom oak dining table where I had sat through countless dinners listening to her family complain about money while I quietly picked up the check. Be a man about it, she had said. Something inside me didn't snap. Snapping implies a sudden break, a loud noise. This was different. This was a silent, heavy tumbler, clicking into place. The lock opened, the door swung wide, and I was done. Sure, I called out to the bathroom door, my voice steady. I'll drive you. The drive to the airport the next morning was suffocating. Lucas sat in the front seat, my seat fiddling with the radio, complaining about the early hour. He didn't say thank you. He didn't mention the $3,000 ticket he'd just inherited. He just talked about how excited he was to try real sushi and how he hoped the hotel had a good spa. He was wearing my sunglasses. I saw them on his face when he walked out of the house. I didn't say a word. Anna sat in the back, texting her mom. When we pulled up to the departure terminal, I popped the trunk. I didn't get out. Aren't you going to help with the bags? Lucas asked, peering through the window, his face slack with entitlement. My back hurts, I lied, staring straight ahead at the tarmac. You got it. Anna leaned forward, pecking me on the cheek. It felt like dry paper. Thanks, babe. Don't wait up for me when I get back next Sunday. Mom's picking us up. Enjoy the quiet time. You probably have work to do anyway. Yeah, I said. Lots of work. I watched them walk into the terminal. They didn't look back, not once. As soon as they disappeared through the sliding glass doors, I put the car in drive. I didn't go home. I went straight to the leasing office. Our lease was peculiar, a detail Anna had conveniently forgotten. I was the primary leaseholder. Anna was listed as an occupant because her credit score was hovering somewhere in the low 500s when we moved in. I walked into the manager's office at 9 in the morning, right as he was pouring his coffee. Hey Brad, Mike, the property manager said. Rent's not due for another week. I'm not here for rent, I said, pulling my checkbook out. I'm paying the breakage fee. I'm terminating the lease. Today. Mike paused, mug halfway to his mouth. Everything okay? Fantastic, I said. Here's the check for the 2 months penalty. I need my name off this door by Monday. You got it. What about the occupant? She's not on the financial hook, I said. She's an unauthorized tenant once I'm gone, right? Technically, yeah. If the lease is broken, the apartment needs to be vacated within 48 hours of the primary tenant leaving. Perfect. You might want to schedule a walkthrough for next Thursday. That's when she gets back. I left the office and called Michael. Michael has been my best friend since college. He owns a logistics company and has a storage unit the size of a hangar. He's the kind of guy who doesn't ask why when you ask to hide a body. He asks where. Yo, Michael answered on the first ring. I need the truck, I said, and I need your spare room. She did it again? Worse, she gave my Japan ticket to Lucas. I'm currently the unthanked sponsor of her brother's mental health retreat. There was a long silence on the other end, then a low whistle. I'm on my way. I'll bring boxes. Lots of them. We spent the next 3 days scrubbing my existence from that apartment. And when I say my existence, I mean everything. This is the thing about being the stable one in a relationship with a free spirit from a chaotic family. You end up buying everything. I bought the furniture because her stuff was from a thrift store and smelled like mildew. I bought the electronics because she broke hers. I bought the kitchenware, the towels, the sheets, the artwork, the lamps. When Michael and I were done, the apartment echoed. It wasn't just empty, it was sterile. I didn't just take the big stuff. I was meticulous. I took the shower curtain hooks. I took the light bulbs I had installed to replace the cheap landlord ones. I took the batteries out of the remotes. I took the router. I took the toilet paper. I left her possessions, strictly. Her clothes were piled on the floor where the dresser used to be. Her collection of healing crystals was arranged on the carpet where the nightstand once stood. Her makeup was on the bathroom counter, which was now dark because I'd taken the bulbs. It looked like a crime scene where the robbers had only stolen the dignity of the house. This is cold, man, Michael said, standing in the empty living room, holding a box of spices. Even the salt? I bought that salt, I said. It's Himalayan pink salt, $8 a jar, into the box. By Saturday night, I was fully moved into Michael's guest house. My phone was silent. Anna was likely over the Pacific, or settling into the hotel in Shinjuku, the hotel I paid for. I hadn't canceled the hotel. I couldn't. It was non-refundable and in her name too. But the credit card on file for incidentals? That was mine. I logged into my banking app and reported the card lost. Send a replacement to my new address, I told the automated system. Then I canceled the cell phone plan. It was a family plan, under my name, which included her, and stupidly, her mom. Click. Service terminated. Then I waited. The silence lasted 4 days. I went to work. I hit the gym. I ate steak for dinner without hearing anyone complain that red meat has bad energy. I slept in the middle of the bed. It was the first time in 5 years I hadn't felt a knot of anxiety in my stomach about what crisis was waiting for me at home. Wednesday morning, my work email pinged. Subject: Where are you? It was sent from an internet cafe address. Brad, my phone isn't working. Mom's isn't either. The hotel says the card for the room service was declined. I'm trying to call you, but it goes straight to voicemail. Lucas is freaking out because he can't upload his stories. Call me immediately. This isn't funny. I deleted the email. I didn't even read it twice. 2 hours later, another one. Brad, seriously. The hotel is threatening to lock us out if we don't put a new card down. We ran up a huge bill at the bar last night thinking you were covering it. I don't have that kind of limit on my card. Fix this. Now. I dragged that one to the trash too. By Thursday, the tone shifted. Babe, please. I don't know what's going on. Are you mad about the ticket? I said I was sorry, didn't I? Please turn the phones back on. We're stuck at the station and I can't access my Uber account because it's linked to your number. I'm scared. Please. I felt a twinge, just a small one. It was the old reflex, the one that had been trained into me for 5 years. Fix it. Be the hero. Save them. Then I remembered the smirk on Lucas's face as he sat in my seat. I remembered the way Anna had patted my cheek like I was a well-behaved golden retriever. Be a man about it. I was being a man about it, a man of my word. I was sitting it out, all the way out. I set up a filter in my inbox to automatically route her emails to a folder named Trash. They landed on Sunday. I knew this because Michael's doorbell rang at 3 in the afternoon. I wasn't there. I was at the grocery store buying meal prep containers, but Michael's Ring camera caught the whole thing. It wasn't Anna. It was her mom, Patricia. Patricia pounded on the door like the police. Brad, I know you're in there. Open this door. You stranded my babies in a foreign country. You monster. Michael opened the door. He's 6'4" and looks like he bends steel beams for fun. Patricia took a step back. Brad doesn't live here, Michael said calmly. I know he's here. He stole everything. He emptied the apartment. Anna just called me hysterical. Her key didn't work, and the leasing office told her the lease was terminated. She has nowhere to go. Sounds like a personal problem, Michael said. He can't do this. That was her home too. Actually, Michael said, leaning against the doorframe, I helped him move. Pretty sure he only took what was his, which, from what I saw, was literally everything except a pile of dirty laundry and some rocks. Maybe if Anna had bought a chair once in 5 years, she'd have somewhere to sit. I'm calling the police. Go ahead. He has the receipts. For everything. Even the salt. Now, get off my porch, Patricia, or I'm calling the cops for trespassing. I watched the footage later that night with a cold beer in my hand. It was better than any movie I'd ever seen. The confrontation happened 2 days later. I couldn't avoid it forever, and frankly, I didn't want to. I wanted her to see me. I wanted her to see that I wasn't broken. I walked out of my office building and she was there, waiting by my car. She looked terrible. Jet-lagged, frantic. Wearing the same clothes she'd left in. Her hair was a mess. She looked small. You! She hissed, marching toward me. I unlocked my car door. Anna, how could you? She slammed her hand against my window before I could open it. How could you do this to me? To us? I came home to nothing. The landlord kicked me out. He said you ended the lease. I had to sleep at my mom's with Lucas on the floor. Family comes first, I said. Right? She froze. Her face crumbled, shifting from rage to shock. What? You told me family comes first, I repeated, my voice steady. Lucas needed a win. He needed the trip. So I gave him the trip. And since I'm not family, since I'm just the wallet, I figured I'd remove myself from the equation entirely. I didn't want to intrude on your family time. I didn't mean break up with me, she screamed, her voice cracking. I meant be understanding about one trip. You ruined everything over a ticket. You're petty. You're a petty, small man. It wasn't about the ticket, Anna, I said, opening the door. It was about the $15,000. It was about the 5 years. It was about the fact that you looked me in the eye and told me I didn't matter. You stole from me. You gave my vacation to a guy who hasn't held a job in 3 years because you don't respect me. You think I'm furniture. You think I'm just there to support you while you support them. I love you, she sobbed, grabbing my arm. Brad, please, we can fix this. I'll pay you back. I'll get a job. I gently peeled her fingers off my jacket. No, you won't. You'll find another guy to pay for the next crisis. And Lucas will need a car next month. Or Mom will need rent. And you'll bleed the next guy dry. But the bank of Brad is closed. Permanently. I got in the car. She banged on the glass as I started the engine. Where am I supposed to go? She wailed. I have nothing. You have your family, I said through the glass. That's what matters, right? I drove away. I watched her in the rearview mirror, shrinking until she was just a speck on the sidewalk. I didn't feel sad. I didn't feel regret. I felt light. I felt like I had just dropped a 200-pound rucksack I'd been carrying for half a decade. Update, 6 months later. The fallout was predictable but satisfying in a grim sort of way. Anna tried to sue me for illegal eviction. My lawyer, Michael's cousin, laughed the case out of court in 10 minutes. Since she wasn't on the lease and hadn't paid a dime in rent for 2 years, she had zero standing. The judge actually asked her why she felt entitled to an apartment she didn't pay for. She didn't have an answer. She tried to smear me on social media. She wrote long, tearful posts about how I was financially abusive and abandoned her in her time of need. It backfired. Mutual friends knew who paid the bills. They knew about Lucas. People started asking questions like, wait, he paid for the Japan trip and you gave his ticket away? And why was your brother on his anniversary trip? The narrative crumbled. She ended up deleting her accounts. I heard from a friend that Lucas crashed the rental car in Japan and they're still paying off the damages. Anna had to move back in with her parents. Apparently, living with 3 adults in a 2-bedroom house isn't the paradise she claimed family time was. Her mom calls her lazy. Lucas borrows money she doesn't have. She's miserable. As for me, I saved $20,000 in 6 months. It's absurd how much money you have when you aren't supporting a family of 4 adults who hate you. I booked a trip for next week. Not to Japan, that feels tainted. I'm going to New Zealand, 2 weeks, hiking, scenery, silence. I'm going alone. I met a girl last week. Her name is Elena. We went for coffee. When the check came, I reached for it out of habit. She stopped my hand. "We got this," she said, putting her card down. "My treat. You can get the next one." I almost fell out of my chair. I'm taking it slow. I'm not rushing into anything. But looking at my bank account, looking at my clean, quiet apartment where the remote still has batteries and the salt is exactly where I left it, I know one thing for sure. I will never sit anything out again. If I'm not in the pilot seat, I'm not getting on the plane. And damn, it feels good to fly solo.